Hey guys, Darkshot the Poisoner here, bringing you the second part of the Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow bestiary. Coming in at number 11 is the Armor Knight, whose soul is actually pretty bad, since you have to remain stationary while using it. It has pretty limited range, and it uses 30 magic per time, which is a lot of magic, trust me. You're going to be using up a lot if you just sit there spamming the Armor Knight soul. And there really aren't a lot of instances where you can use it, because... well, actually, I take it back. Maybe against the Puppet Master boss, since the Puppet Master doesn't really move anywhere. Or maybe against Gurgoth, but seriously, like, what else would you use that for? Number 12 is the Student Witch. The Student Witch you can use against Dario, and it works very effectively, since Dario likes to learn your power. You just have him use a very simple power, such as the Student Witch, and once he starts using the Student Witch, you can use a normal attack on him, because you can just jump over the little cat that you summon when you normally use the power. So, basically, use a weak power against him, and it makes him a lot easier. So, number 13 is the Slaughterer, whose soul is also not very good, in my opinion. You have to stay in one place, and you punch forward, and it's really, really short range. It does a lot of damage, though, I will admit. It does quite a bit of damage, so if you're willing to get up close to an enemy to use it, it's pretty good. I mean, I think I've seen it do like 180 damage, which is more than a normal weapon would do. But still, I don't think it's worth it that you have to take, like, get right up in your enemy's face. Number 14 is a Bomber Armor Soul. The Bomber Armor is actually really, really good. I advise you get it to max level, because this thing can dish out a lot of damage. You don't throw it very far, but when in combination with the Skeleton Ape Soul, you can throw this thing really far. And what's actually pretty funny is that when you level the Bomber Armor Soul up to the 9 out of 3 levels, you instead of like throwing a bomb, you throw what looks like a nuke, and it's pretty funny. I like it. Number 15 is the Golem, and the Golem is an absolutely essential soul, and you can level it up 9 out of 9 times, and it's really good because it raises your strength, so you can do more damage against enemies. And seriously, like, go ahead and get at this guy, because you're gonna want to increase your strength, like, against different enemies in the game, especially against bosses if you're gonna be using physical attacks. Number 16 is the Slime, and I like to use the Slime a lot, even though it doesn't do a lot of damage, and it has a very unpredictable throwing pattern, but I just like to use it against bosses a lot, not really against enemies, just because when you throw a slime around in the concealed space that a boss is usually in, because they're usually in like a box, the slime will bounce around and it'll actually get quite a few hits in, so it's surprising how good this soul can be. Number 17 is the Un, and I really don't find this power to be very good. There's only a couple instances that I would say to use it, but other than that, it's not very good. Unless you use it in tandem with the Allura Un power, there's nothing that great about it. You basically just throw one of the Uns on the ground, and they sit there, and it goes and waves its little jiggly arms, and it hurts guys for while ever it's sitting there, which is about 5 seconds. And it's 18 magic per use, which is definitely not worth it. And here's the Skeleton Ape power, number 18. Its description is kind of vague. It says, throw a foe with incredible power. And I always thought, well, do I throw enemies when I hit them from now on? But actually what it is your bullet type soul is a little bit enhanced. So if you're throwing something like the Bomber Armor Soul, you throw it quite a bit further. And it also works with the Puppet Master, and you can use that in combination with the Skeleton Ape and the Puppet Master to get across that spike gap in the lower Wizardry Lab. Number 19 is the Manticore, and the Manticore, for coming in at number 19 so early in the game that you can just find him in the Wizardry Lab hanging out here, 2 of them in one room, he actually has a very, very good power. I use it a lot. Also the Mushusu, which is which is basically an upgrade of it. Those 2 powers are really good for however you can get them in the game, because you actually get them pretty early. Number 20 is the Moleska. The Moleska fails in my opinion. His soul sucks, the enemy sucks, and I hate it that he can poison you just with his little eyeball things. And I got poisoned so much trying to do this. I was trying to figure out a good way to grind off him, and I could not figure out a good way besides just summoning a zombie, because zombie just shambles in front of him and kills him. Yeah, there's nothing really special about the Moleska Soul. It's basically a zombie, but it goes faster and further, and I think it does less damage. Anyway, that's all for this episode, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time on the Castlevania Bestiary.